Hello, everybody.
Good evening. I am Kat, and this is the lovely Luna, and together we are Delight in Fright. Today we have a very special guest with us, Bill D. Russell. He is an actor of It Came From Somewhere, Puppet Master, Doktor Death, Evil Lurks, and he has some other great things in the works as well. So welcome, Bill. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yes.
Such a pleasure to meet you two ladies.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful to get together and make this happen.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to start off with Puppet Master Doktor Death?
I got my puppet friends here. We're hanging out.
Up to
no
that.
good.
How cool.
Never trust these guys.
No, watch out. Watch out. As we
What do you want to know about it? What do you want to talk about?
Well, just to get our viewers nice and excited about it, how about we show the preview?
Oh, yeah, please.
And then we can get into the nitty-gritty.
One of our residents passed away last night. What happened? Heart attack.
Generally, I like to ease the new staff in, but these things, well, they happen.
Max had no living relatives.
So then what happens to all this stuff?
What do you have there?
Just like Christmas.
Having served his country in World War II, Max led an illustrious life.
Would anyone else like to say something about Max?
Did you hear about what happened to Mr. Abbott?
No, what about him?
They found him in the funeral home, mutilated.
Check on the residents.
Her oxygen tube, it looked like it was yanked out.
Oh, great. Clearly the sign of a deranged serial killer.
It's okay. You're safe. Do you remember anything of what happened?
I know what I saw.
Yes.
And I think that's all the time we have. So good night, everybody. Did you enjoy my performance in that?
Yes.
It went by pretty
Absolutely.
quick. I take like an entire 2.5 minutes to die in the film, though, so you don't see much of it in that preview. What amuses me is the Max they refer to as me. That's my character. My character is talked about through the entire film, but you never see me again after I die. Even at my memorial portrait doesn't actually have my face, because that's the thing. The woman who does the paintings can't paint faces. So I don't even get my own picture at my memorial.
But when they wheel you out, they don't even have your face covered. So
I know. There was it's it's the hectic schedule of making films, and I was maybe a 4-hour drive away. There was a little confusion over what day they needed me on set. I wasn't sure if it was going to be one day or the day following that. So I thought, well, I better hedge my bets. I haven't heard from anybody. I'll go the one day, and if I'm a day early, no big deal. And I was a day early for what they really needed me, but they were going to originally just have a mannequin come out on the stretcher. And they said, well, Bill's here. Let's just go ahead and use him and don't cover his face. So people, and it's like, yeah, everybody says that. You're the only corpse that no one's ever covered up their face before they wheeled them out.
Yeah,
so that's how that
realistic. That was at least realistic looking. We're like, whoa, got to see the face of the dead.
Yeah, I if I'm not mistaken, I was clinically dead for about 30 seconds right there.
Interesting.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
That's
I wasn't expecting crickets.
We're
I was
I
joking.
know. I was like, ooh. We're definitely taking this one to dark places as our fans tend to take us
I
there
just have a
sometimes.
twisted brain, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm sorry.
We all do in this. If you're watching this, you're more likely have a twisted brain.
I would
so
hope
welcome
so.
to the club.
So
I'm like, ooh.
it's our people. It's our tribe.
Yes. And
Uh,
may I say, you definitely look too young to be in a assisted living area. What was it, an
Well,
old folks home?
thank you.
You're welcome.
The script called, I think the character is 80, which is still, not only am I not close to 80 yet, but 80 would be pretty young for a World War II veteran as well. It's like, it exists in some sort of quasi bizarro time warp thing. But I think they all do. They kind of, you're never really sure what year it is.
Yeah, that's true. And I really liked this one overall. When you read the script, were you like, yes, I need to be a part of that? Were you kind of excited about this project?
I was excited about the chance to be in a Puppet Master movie. That was, honestly, I don't think I saw the full script until after I'd been cast. But I auditioned for 3 different parts. You see, there's like an old guy with a long white beard. That was the first character I auditioned for. Then there's another guy who's like another resident that when I auditioned on Zoom with Dave Parker, the director, that was the part I read for. Then when they offered me the part, it was Max Kudis. So it was like I auditioned for 2 different parts and then got cast in a third that was completely different. So the casting director says, we're offering you this part. Unfortunately, you don't have any lines per se, but you die at the very beginning of the film. And I said, I will take that. Because hopefully that's something people will remember.
Yes, that death scene was kind of a little harsh, I would say.
Well, Dave Parker, and I loved working with him. He's a great director. Needs to do a lot more stuff. He's sitting behind the camera, just like yelling out things to me, like, okay, now imagine that these bombs are going off and they're right over your head. And then Dr. Death comes up behind you and he does this. No, now scream like this. And, he's just like lobbing stuff at me that certainly got a better performance than if they just said, okay, scream and thrash around for a couple of minutes.
So did you get to see any of the puppeteer work, Bill?
Not the actual work being done. I saw we shot that scene in the basement of the Full Moon Manor in Cincinnati Heights, Ohio, which is an adventure in and of itself. So I saw, I worked with Greg Leitner, the special effects makeup guy for Full Moon Features, who does most of their, like, the puppet work and things. So I got to see his workbench and some of his work area. The puppets just laying around or hanging. So that was cool.
So the puppets were just being lazy, just hanging out, waiting for food services.
I mean, I know they come to life and move around on their own, but they weren't doing it when I was there. So
did they creep you out a little bit?
Well, yeah, they've got to a little bit, and I'm sure I creep them out a little bit. So
there's one particular movie. I don't know if you remember this. I watched it, and when I was a teenager, it was called Dead Silence. It had a ventriloquist and a creepy dummy puppet. And that movie, ever since then, I'm just like, ugh, puppets just kind of freak me out.
Yeah. Dead Silence?
Yes, Dead Silence.
I don't think I'm familiar with that one. I know there's the one with Anthony Hopkins. Is it Magic? Is that what it's called? Where he's got a ventriloquist dummy, but I don't think I'm familiar with
that one's Magic with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, they are. I mean, all dolls are creepy inherent. It's like clowns and dolls. I don't know what it is.
Yes,
there's inherent creepiness. But yeah, definitely ventriloquist dolls. I was in the studio audience when I was 5 years old for like a locally, sort of like the Bozo Show, but it was a cowboy. Eddie was the guy, and he had a ventriloquist dummy. And all I'd ever seen was the doll speaking, and after the show, we're being let out of the studio, and it's just lying there on a chair. It was kind of devastating. It's like, oh my God, he's not really alive.
Yes. Going back to Dead Silence for a second, James Wan is the one that directed this.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I'm
fairly
surprised I
good.
haven't watched it then. Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's free on Tubi and Peacock.
That's my kind of movie.
Yeah, free to watch on Tubi. Just annoying ads, but it's free. How did you get inspiration for your character since you did not have any lines? How were you able to bring yourself to this character when, I think you had maybe 3 minutes of screen time?
Yeah, well, I'm having a nightmare where I'm being harassed by
The
the
puppet.
Doktor Death puppet spirit thing. I don't know. So, other than just using my own vivid imagination, I guess, to me, it didn't require a lot of backstory. Okay, I'm an old guy dying, and I probably don't remember who I am or how I got there anyway. If if I'm that old and suffering from PTSD, so it was more just about, what does it feel like to be terrified? I mean, it's the basic method acting. It's like, when was I terrified in my life, and how did that feel, and just kind of bring that mood back, and like I said, Dave did a really good job of heightening that. So
yes, those special effects were really nice to see.
Oh yeah, to see it, with the effects in there is just that's just so much fun. It's like, wow, it worked
for sure.
What was your favorite kill, Luna?
I have two. The first one, when shit's gonna hit the fan, when he disconnects the oxygen from the lady. That's the first time he kills. That's the first time you're like, oh, this little guy means business. So that was kind of I liked it, not because it was overly gory or graphic, but because it kind of set the stage for what was coming. And the first kill is always a little shocking. And this one had absolutely no gore at all, and it was still shocking. I mean, somebody asphyxiating from not having oxygen, that's pretty harsh, Doesn't have to be bloody. Just hold in your breath and see how long, you know what I mean? It's just like crazy to think about. And the other one that I thought was kind of cool effects wise was the mortician guy, where he's like goes over there kind of prepping the body and stuff. He kind of opens it, and then and then ankle, and I think he ends up with like a whole face job that the puppet gave him. You don't see the puppet giving him the face job, but they kind of camera cuts, and you're like, whoa, how did he do that? That little guy is strong. So
again, props to Greg Leitner. That's all his doing. He also works as a producer on a lot of their projects. He's just an amazing guy and a good person all around. So that was part of the experience, was just the fun of working with those people in Ohio. They were just a great group of. It's like they have a little family, and it's a lot of fun to work with them.
Yeah, I can tell.
Mikey Stice and William Butler, who Billy Butler. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was in a lot of the early Full Moon. He was in the original Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Bolorama, which I don't think either of you know. He's a well-known name in that realm, in the Full Moon features realm.
Yeah, I kind of grew up with the Full Moon, the Demonic Toys, Puppet Master, all of those. But I was too young to like remember names, so I really need to go back and revisit a lot of them. But I'm sure if I saw the face, I'd be like, I know them.
Right.
But my favorite kill was the old lady pincushion. Yeah, with all her art paints in her face. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, she's the one who can't paint faces. So
Oh,
Yep.
I
Now I
don't.
guess maybe, I don't know, in the afterlife she's painting with her face.
that could well be. That could well be. What did you
Yeah.
guys think of the ending? If you got that far.
Um. What the hell? Like, where? How did the puppet become associated with? I don't know. I don't think I understand. Like, I
Yeah,
am so confused.
I kind of had the same feeling. I think there's
Yeah,
just some
I
leaps
thought
of
it was.
credibility that you have to jump over to. Yeah, I don't know, but the
I
whole
kind of
it's like
felt like it
setting it
was
up for there to
abruptly
be more to
ended.
come. Is like, oh, okay.
I kind of thought it was like abruptly ended. Like there was supposed to
Would
be
agree.
more.
I would agree. There's actually Dave Parker had posted once upon a time an ending that got cut. If you want, I will send you the link to it. You see,
Yes.
Jenny Bosworth, April, the lead actress in the film, driving away, and Dr. Death is sitting in the passenger seat with a seatbelt on. It's hilarious.
Oh my
Nice.
god, that's the
I guess
ending we need.
Dave said it wasn't included with the DVD or anything. So,
No.
But-
It seems like they're trying to reboot the Puppet Master franchise, but is there like a rights issue going on in the background that we don't know about?
I don't think that's it. I think it's just, like their shotgun approach of, they've got so many projects going on. Just in the last few months, I've auditioned for a few of their projects, so I know they've got different things.
Nice.
They're doing one that's like a disaster parody. It's called Quake. It's like
Ooh.
the towering building caught in an earthquake. Will they make it out alive? Type thing. So yeah, they've always
that
got
sounds
something
fun.
going on. So I think it's just like whatever they decide to put their focus on at the time. They just made another Baby Oopsie movie. So how long is that?
Interesting.
Nice.
Going on?
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ending didn't really. I didn't feel like it was missing anything. I was just kind of like confused as to how. Maybe I'm thinking if you have some sort of. I don't want to say too much, but slight spoiler alert, guys. Close your ears. if see if they are somehow connected, the two parties, I won't mention the names.
Mhm.
Is it like maybe kind of like Dr. Death got stuck in there as a voodoo ritual, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is he related, or how are these
But
two
yeah,
people related, like probably maybe kind of like a Chucky situation where he used to be a human but he got trapped in
right.
this doll.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see like the prequel to that.
Yes.
And I know other people have said that too. They're like, we want to know how it got to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see that too. I want to see the beginnings of Dr. Death and how he got to that stage,
Right.
in his puppet form from whatever previous forms he might have been. So that would be interesting. And just prequel, sequel, whatever. That'd be fun.
It definitely made me want to go back and watch all the Puppet Masters again, because I kind of felt like maybe there was stuff in there that I didn't quite get because I didn't remember from the
Right.
earlier stuff. And I'm like, oh right, she's getting the whole team together. Yeah, ready for more puppets.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Huh?
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
So what's proving interesting to me, and it like related to this, I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later, that I'm going to be at a convention coming up in a couple of weeks. people are just such passionate fans of the Puppet Master franchise and of Full Moon that, like, I'm just somebody who's willing to interact with fans on behalf of Puppet Master, and there are people out there that are craving that. It's like there's part of me that feels like, oh, I shouldn't, don't make a big figure out of me, but they're Puppet Master fans. I give them the chance to have some sort of connection with the franchise. So, lucky me.
Well,
Indeed.
it's important. I mean, they need
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's why me and Luna are here. A lot of people, they fear death less than actually talking in front of strangers. So to have that type of personality and be charismatic is very important. So I'm glad that they've got you aboard, Bill, and I hope to see some more awesome work out of you guys.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you're aware, I have an extensive improv background. So I did improv comedy in Chicago to one extent or another, for like over 30 years.
Ooh,
So,
improv sounds
although
like a lot of fun.
interestingly enough, what I have found difficult at times is making the transition from performing sketch comedy on a stage to performing for a camera, because most of the time you've got to bring that all really, you have to make it a lot more intimate for the camera. So it took me a while to work on that.
Yeah, and you can read a crowd, but you can't read a camera.
Exactly.
So it's like, how's this joke gonna go? If you tell a certain kind of jokes and people are loving it, you keep throwing them those jokes. But a camera, you get no feedback. You just records. So I can see how that could be a challenge also.
Absolutely.
From that angle.
Yeah.
So another fun one. Are you guys ready to move to the favorite one that I watched of yours? You guys ready?
Let's go.
It came from somewhere. Ooh, this movie was so freaking fun. I did not stop laughing. I was just in stitches when I was watching this, and it was so nice. Like, I don't know. I felt very happy watching it because there was a lot of comedic moments, but serious moments and fun moments, and maybe slight romance moments also.
Nothing like Earth alien romances.
Yes.
So, but you'll be happy to know, I don't know if this will read on camera or not, we just finished shooting They Came Back from Somewhere.
Ooh.
So in the movie you're talking about, I just have that little bit at the beginning because the film was basically a parody of Plan 9 from Outer Space. A celebrity psychic of the day had introduced Plan 9, and we do a little parody of that. And that's all that I have in it. It came from somewhere. So in the sequel, I'm playing the supreme leader of the aliens. So I get to do a lot of overacting and scenery chewing, which, like I said, that's really what I do.
Here is the trailer, guys, so you guys get excited. This one is also on Tubi, free with ads.
Drive away your worries and cares at this drive-in theater, where you will see the finest motion pictures of all time, soon to be released. Drama, comedy, adventure, excitement, something for everyone.
Supreme Leader will be pleased once he receives a report about these puny humans.
These insignificant creatures should be easy to destroy.
Will you stop shooting everyone you see? Gorkloff from harm. Space Treaty 45-0-5-40 states that Gork are allowed to terminate without restriction. He was the mailman! We give you no choice. If you fail to help us, you will meet the same fate as this human.
I will protect you.
You will?
Do you trust me?
Yes. Have you no respect for human life?
No.
I love it. Love
That
it.
looks like fun. I would watch that. Well, thank you
I
for
heard you
showing
snort,
that.
Luna. I heard you snort.
I did.
It's so
What?
fun.
Why don't you stop? Why are you killing everyone or whatever it was she says? I'd forgotten that line. It caught me by surprise. It made me
Yes.
snort. It made me snort.
I just went straight into watching the movie. I didn't watch the preview until now. And that got me also. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's such a fun movie. Kat, what did you think about this one in particular?
I loved it. I watched it with my husband, and he was just kicking, like laughing and like kicking. I'm like, we just became children. So it was such fun to go back to that fun time. And I love when she shoots up in the air and a skeleton bird falls.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
what? It was just great. And what's her name? What was the girl's name? Quasar, I think it is. She's the female. She was just like, she was set on her character, and like she did not give up. Yeah, Quasar. Like she was dedicated.
I believe that's Beth Metcalf. She's a great actress, yeah. And we got to do some scenes together in the sequel that came back from, or they came back from somewhere. So, yeah, she's very funny.
How, Bill, how did you get this part? This movie was so fun. How did you find out about it, or how did you get in touch with it?
Just knowing other people who were involved. That's especially since the pandemic started. Networking has become such a big online networking has become just such a big deal. So I knew Ann Myrna, who's one of the actors that was in the film in the trailer that we just saw, also works as a producer on a lot of the projects that are done by this company, Cross Star Films. This is just one of many. Steve Herman is like putting out content at an unbelievable rate. I mean, people comment to it. How does he get so much accomplished? If you go to crossstarfilms.com, you see all the Blood Sisters is a YouTube series. They got like a horror romance one that just came out. And again, it's like, it's like a family. All these people pretty much all work on the same projects. So, which makes it just an awful lot of fun. But that's, I knew Anne, and Anne recommended me to Steve, said, I think Bill would be great to do, this part. And that's how I got involved with them.
Awesome. I'd love to pick Steve Herman's brain about a lot of the things he's done.
I will send him your way.
Yes, I see he was also the one that wrote the Attack of the Corn Zombies.
Yes. Yes.
He wrote that. That sounds like so much fun.
Which was that I think we screened that the day that we were shooting. They came back from somewhere. So that, again, it's that same blend of horror and comedy, and It works. It works. It's
It does work because, like, the horrific moments that happen are funny, and you're like, "This I shouldn't be laughing at this." Like, that bird scene, I'm a huge animal rights advocate, I love animals,
sure,
but
sure, of course.
that was so funny. She just shoots up and the bird, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, bird." Like, it was just so funny, and no movie would ever, like, get that reaction of me, but this got
Right.
me.
Oh,
This
well,
was just
that's nice.
so
I'm
fun.
glad. I'm glad that it had that effect. It's really nice to hear that kind of feedback.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
definitely, I'll definitely share this with everyone there at the Across Star Films family.
Oh, that'd be so wonderful. I'm sure they would love it, and I can definitely work my magic and, just clip the portion of where we talk about them. That way they
Sure.
can get that
Oh
dose
yeah.
in
There
there.
you go. That would be great.
So, Bill, how was it like working on this movie? Because I can see that there's so many comedic moments. How was it a lot of fun? I bet it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And it's because we're sort of making fun of and paying homage to that genre of film, the 50s flying saucer films, and the luxury of that is if anything goes wrong during filming, you just leave it in, um, because it's part. Like there's a part where I twirl my cape around, but we've got control boards that are just hanging in front of a curtain on wires, and one of the wires comes loose, and we just left it like that, for the rest of the film. It's just hanging cockeyed. So that type of thing. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But the key to something like that is you play it seriously. Um, it's an absurd situation, but if you play it seriously, that's what makes it funny.
I like that outlook. That's definitely it makes it very fun for the viewer because you're like, you can't possibly be that serious, especially when
Right.
that one alien girl is just like, I will do this for blah blah blah, so monotone and like direct, and you're like, whoa, sounds kind
Right.
of like very robotic, but that's
Yeah.
what makes the character unique.
Yes. Absolutely.
Kat, what was your favorite moment other than the bird scene? What was your favorite moment?
Well, the beginning is great as well with the flaming pie, pretty
Mhm.
much. But yeah, the thing that just really got me was just the first time someone gets lasered, and you got the Halloween skeleton there, like straight out of Home Depot. And it was just hilarious. And it was just great. Everybody's playing it so straight, and absolutely, Bill, that's what makes comedic movies cult, because it's
Right.
you play it straight, but if you're trying to be funny, it's not going to be funny, right?
Right.
But if you're being serious,
Right. Right.
and you're playing the character straight, and just hilarity is going on around you, it's still hilarious. Like some of my favorite my favorite director does that a lot, Wes Anderson. I love his work, and sometimes you'll be in the theater and people are like, should I laugh, and I'm just dying.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Well, in the sequel, I get to vaporize someone, so I get to work that magic myself, and it's fun to film, and I don't think this is giving anything away. You hold a gun up and you shoot someone, and the director yells freeze, and everybody freezes, and then you help the person get out of the frame and replace them with a skeleton, and then keep going, and then when you edit it together,
It
it
just
just goes from
it just
person to
pays.
skeleton.
Yeah.
So it'll look pretty cool.
Nice. When is that coming out? Do you have any idea
Steve
or
hopes to have it done by the end of the month, like in time for Halloween. So, and
Yay!
it's
That's so much
a
fun.
very, I mean, not only does it fit the genre, but it just helps overall. A very economical shooting, um, there's not like a lot of fancy shots. We're not going to do over the shoulders and let's get a close up and we'll get, none of that. It's just pretty much
Straight.
here, we're going to point the camera and let which I love that style of filmmaking where it's not a whole bunch of different shots. Just point the camera and let the actors do their thing. Like Tarantino, I think, is great with that. He'll frame it really nice, but then there's not a lot of fancy, camera work going on. It's nicely framed, it's nicely photographed, and then you just watch the action unfold.
Yeah,
absolutely. What's fancy is the characters, what's going on. That's the part that makes it fantastical.
Yeah.
And yeah, back in the day, that's how.
Yeah, I was never as enamored with Danny DeVito's directing as a lot of other people's work because I felt it drew attention to itself. He would do these goofy little special effects things that made me go, oh, that's right, we're watching a movie. I forgot. I just got so involved in the story. Now I remember it's just a movie. But that's just me.
And that's how films were done back then. The cameras were so damn heavy. They didn't freaking carry them around. They set it up and the actors came into frame and they left, or whatever they needed to capture. You had to make sure you were on your mark.
But it's like if you see footage of some of the old silent comedians like Buster Keaton, the setup, because they didn't have special effects, If it looks like a house is falling on him, they dropped a house on him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like watching those old vintage films. It kind of gives you a little bit of perspective. I'm a huge fan, and I'm definitely excited for the sequel. I want to see you vaporize someone with the ray gun. I'm like, yes, give us ray gun deaths. We want them.
Right.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if they're still available. The ray guns we used, the cast, we all signed the guns and they are available as perks for anyone who contributes to the Indiegogo. We do a lot of what they call screen used props. For example, I have this like a scepter thing here, which is actually a bejeweled walking stick. But somebody bought that as a perk, contribution to our Indiegogo. So I signed it and signed a photograph and sent it to them. So we do a lot of those things that I think is really cool. And that's becoming a big collector's, or maybe has already become a big collector's category. Uh-oh.
You
muted.
lost me.
There
Sorry.
we are.
I was going to say, I love that, especially for the indie film people where it's like you don't have a super amount of money from these large companies and corporations. So the people that love your films will get a piece of it and know that they contributed to making this happen.
Yeah,
Additionally,
that's what I think is really cool is we're not just saying give us some money. And then hopefully you'll watch the film when it comes out. You have the chance, to be part of the making. And there's a lot of I'm promoting the perks now. A lot of the perks are things that you can get screen credits for, like a special thanks, or for not too much money, you can get like an assistant producer, an associate producer credit, where, you just contribute a little money and you get your name at the end of the credits and you get to be part of it. Get an IMDb credit. Or like I said, we have screen use props, or even just the chance to be in the film, like, be a victim. Contribute X amount of dollars and we will kill you in the film. Or we'll use your scream was another one we did, I think.
Ooh, use your scream. Kat, do you want to become an actress and be in the next movie?
Sure. That
was so enthusiastic. Sure. Yeah.
Well,
I used to be terrified of talking in public. So I joined, I was in a little town in the middle of nowhere. I joined the community theater And I remembered my lines. I got on stage. I didn't faint. I didn't pass out. I didn't vomit. So I was like, all right, I guess there we go. I just face fears head on. So, you know, I'm willing to try anything.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Yay! So let's get murdered in the next movie. Woo!
Right?
Yay!
That's something
I
I
keep
can
telling
get
them
down
they
with.
should really promote that perk, because I think a lot of people go, yeah, hell yeah, I want to get murdered in a movie.
Of course,
Why
because
not?
it's so far removed
Right?
from reality.
Yeah.
Plus, you get immortalized in a movie forever.
And you don't really have to have any acting experience or talent.
Right? The more terrified of the camera you are, the better.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it.
The only thing you should really practice is your scream. Especially if there's like a axe wielding killer or something, you're like,
You want to,
"Ah!"
warm up your vocal folds and use your diaphragm and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, that's how you should do it. One of our lovely viewers said, I love Full Moon. I grew up with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome to hear all that wonderful
For being
feedback.
a fan.
Ooh. Did you get abducted?
He got abducted.
They came from somewhere and they got you.
They did.
Oof, no. I'm
How
glad
much
you're...
that only seemed like a second to me. How long was it for you guys? Was I gone for like days?
No, only a second, but you weren't vaporized, so we're good. You're not a skeleton.
Right. Okay, good.
You still got your meat suit on.
Yep.
I guess that's important.
It is important.
Apparently. I don't know. I'm told this, but who knows?
So speaking of being in a horror movie and helping to fund the movie and getting cool props and things to be in a movie and fund a movie, let's go into a project you have coming up, Bill. Unseen with Felissa Rose. Definitely want to hear some more about that.
It's a psychological thriller. It's Steve Merlo is the filmmaker, and he's making it sort of from the viewpoint what's it like to be inside the mind of the killer, is sort of what it's coming from. My character, sort of a Dr. Loomis-esque, Donald Pleasance from Halloween, kind of that. I play a university professor, and basically I give this little lecture on the nature of evil in human behavior, and that the most evil is the kind that is unseen. So I get to say the title or whatever.
Nice.
But yeah,
you're always waiting for that. Are they gonna say it? Are they gonna say it?
But yeah, there are Felissa Rose, as you said, probably best known from oh gosh, what's the film?
Sleepaway Camp.
Yes, Sleepaway Camp. And she's just we don't have scenes together in this film, but I've met her, and she's just the sweetest woman. And not at all like on a Star Trek. She's just very down to earth and a great actress. And Brett Wagner, the big swag, I don't know if you know him. He's probably best known as the Lost Leatherface. He was in one of the Texas Chainsaw remakes and got sun poisoning after they shot a couple of scenes, and they had to replace him for the rest of the movie, but he didn't get credit for his scenes. So even though he's in the movie, unless that's why they call him the Lost Leatherface. But he also is in the film, is the point I'm taking a very meandering route to getting to.
Well, I hope he's getting credit in this one.
He definitely is.
Good. Well deserved.
And I don't think they've made casting announcements yet, but I'm also going to be in a film called Final Summer 2. Final Summer just started streaming. It played a bunch of film festivals and did very well. It's a slasher style film, but much more investigating the psychological aspects behind horror. The filmmaker John Esberg um, uses his own experiences with having been party to psychological manipulation and gaslighting and PTSD from that sort of emotional manipulation, and he uses that in the story. So it's sort of like the axe murder is a metaphor for all of this stuff. So but we're going to start filming the sequel coming up soon. Tom Matthews is in it. If you recognize his name, he was in Return of the Living Dead and Friday the
Yes.
13th Part 6, and he's a bunch of other. He played the sheriff in Part 1, and he's going to be in Part 2, and I'll be the district attorney working alongside him. So we got that coming up too, and that I'm sure we'll be doing. There'll be an Indiegogo campaign for that as well coming up. So again, it's not like we're begging for your money. Come be part of the movie. We're offering opportunities.
Oh, and speaking of credits, we can be in the credits, Luna.
Yeah. Yeah, if we participate in the Indiegogo, we'll be Delight and Fright approved,
Yes.
certified,
There you go.
bona fide.
Nice.
And we
I like
we
it.
want that seal of approval.
Yeah.
We want your imprimatur that says yes.
We're trying
100%
to
grade A horror.
Yeah, we're trying to get our name out there. That way, we're a strong influence in the at least in the indie horror. If not mainstream horror, that's fine. The indie people are near and dear to our hearts.
Right. Sure.
And we just reviewed another project Phyllis Rose made called Cat, please remind me. My brain's blanking out. Late Checkout. There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
you. You
You did it.
telepathically sent it to me and did not raid me to death. Thank you for doing that. So yeah, Late Checkout. It was really fun. We did a review with one of the was it the writers of it, right? Well, co-writer and an actress,
producer.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun to do that. And I can see Felissa Rose is doing a lot of producing a lot of stuff with indie people. And that's really nice of her to lend her aid to a lot of the people in the industry.
She is so, giving and supportive. And a lot of I'm finding out more and more, a lot of the people in the horror community are that way. That it's much more supportive of each other than competitive. Like I've certainly been involved in theater situations or things like that where everybody's sort of like, I got to make sure I do better than they do. It's not. I'm not finding that in the horror community. Everybody's just like, we're all in this together, and I'll recommend you for something in this show.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that too. And Brian brings up a good statement here. I look forward to seeing Unseen. I love Felissa Rose. I have met her a couple of times, and she's always so nice. I love her acting.
Yeah, she's amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she's going to be in attendance at the Days of the Dead Chicago coming up in a month, next month in November. So hopefully I'll get to chat with her there as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I bet that'll be really nice conversation. She's always such a lovely person to talk to. Whether you're a fan or in the industry, she treats you the same no matter what. And I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what else do you have going on, Bill? We love to meet you in person. Where can we find you?
Wow. If somebody on Instagram, I'm Bill X Russell. And I have a YouTube channel. I think that's X Bill X Russell. I don't know. If you Google actor Bill D Russell, you'll find way more stuff than you really want to. For whatever that's worth. A lot of the things that I've worked on the last few years weren't feature films. So like maybe nobody's seen them. I just found out today that a little short that I worked on called Camp Sunshine, where I play a camp counselor who's also the vampire lord. And I'm using my position in this rehab camp for juveniles to, recruit young vampires for my vampire club or whatever it is. But we haven't been able to post it publicly because it's been playing film festival circuits, and I guess it's finally ending its run there. So we're going to be able to promote that. So, and also I have a totally non-horror film that just started streaming recently called You're Out. I play a baseball coach, but I get to be an asshole, which is a part I play very well, evidently, because I keep getting cast as that. But I have a really fun part in that. So it's called You're Out. It's on Amazon and Apple TV and all those fun places.
Awesome. And are you going to do any
And it's already
conventions?
made, so we're not asking for any money.
Oh.
Just go watch it.
Just go watch it.
Just go watch it. Have fun. It's a really fun film, and everyone I know who's seen it raves about it, but it doesn't fit a classification really well. So I think it's still finding an audience. But it's one of those that, like, I've had people that didn't know I was in it contact me and say, I was watching this film, you're in it, it was so much fun.
Awesome.
So people seem to like it,
And most of the time, the actors that are the sweetest people in real life play the biggest assholes on screen. So I wouldn't worry about that, Bill.
I'm not too worried.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at any convention circuits anytime soon?
Yes, actually. Thank you for asking. The Atomic Monster Weekend in Mesa, Arizona, which is, what is that, the 27th through the 29th, I believe. It's the first, hopefully annual, Atomic Monster Weekend. But again, a lot of Dee Wallace will be there. Tom Matthews is going to be there. That's going to be my first time getting to chat with Tom in person. Sid Croft, Sid and Marty Croft, is going to be there. Clint Howard will be there. Yeah, I mean, just Michael DeBar is going to be there. Hopefully you know who that is. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So it's going to be my first appearance, if people want or whatever, I'll sign stuff.
I want to get a replica of that puppet and like have you sign it. That'd be so fucking cool.
Cool. I'd be happy to do that. I've signed a few DVDs so far for people, people on Instagram will say, oh, could I get a DVD? So I guess people want that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see the appeal. If you really enjoy something and you love the art, you want to get it memorialized with the signature of like this person involved in this signed it.
I'll
for
send
me.
you a DVD if you want one.
only if you sign it.
Well, yeah.
Yay!
And we have
so this will be your first con, Bill?
What?
This will be your first horror convention?
That I'd be attending as making an appearance. Yes.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, and hopefully not the last.
Yeah, no, they're a lot of fun, and hopefully you make a lot of money. Brian wants to know: is the movie Unseen going to be released in theaters, or is it going to go direct to streaming?
That's a great question, and I'd like to. It seems like there's a huge resurgence in theater going now, and a lot of, like Terrifier, those films, that are being shown in theaters again, even though the original one's been streaming for how long now? There's enough interest in that. The Pope's Exorcist, there's just been a whole bunch of horror films that have come out recently that are coming out in theaters. So it's certainly, it's likely. I'm hoping it comes out in theaters, but it's you really don't know until you get down to the
nitty gritty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in post-production, pre-production? Where are you
right
at
now? We're still in pre-production. Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't even filmed it yet?
No.
Oh.
We were going to start filming actually right about now. But Steve was having better success with his Indiegogo than anticipated, so he wanted to keep that going. So we basically made the project a little bigger, but then set filming back to probably the spring of 2024.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. We
But
cannot wait.
it'll be bigger budget than if we tried to do it now, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, bigger budget always means good graphics,
Yeah, you
great
get to all
actors.
that extra fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Do you have any last minute probing
Any last
questions?
words?
Yes.
I'm sure.
And
Yeah, after we're done, I'll go, oh, why didn't I mention this? Nah, nothing that I can think of right off.
what about you, Kat? Do you want to ask any questions while we have Bill still here?
Well, Bill, we always like to ask, what are some of your favorite horror films? What are or the movie or type of horror movie that just really got you loving horror movies?
Well, I grew up watching horror movies on late night television. There was a time there was no cable TV or VCRs or DVD players or any of that kind of thing. I know it's hard to believe. So, you know, the late show on black and white TV at midnight was my introduction to horror films, and they were mostly either Hammer or Universal. So, you know, like the classic, you know, like House of Dracula, where they're all in it. Frankenstein's monster and Dracula and the Wolfman are all like hanging out in a castle together. That kind of thing, or you know, the Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing vampire films were kind of what I grew up on. So I even had a hard time accepting the slasher genre when it became popular in the 80s, because I was like, oh, come on, that's just someone with a knife. Where's the monster? So it took me a while to appreciate that subgenre. And actually now I'm just kind of reacquainting myself with a lot of those films. I've been going back through the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchises. And Halloween was a big. I saw the original Halloween in the theaters when it was first released, and you know, just loved it. So
it's a good one.
Those movies are big for me. Boy, if I just had to pick an all around favorite, I would have a hard time doing that. You know, because there's you want to pick different ones for different reasons.
Brian wants to tell you that it is appropriate that he is playing a Dr. Loomis-like character in Unseen because he kind of looks like Donald Pleasence.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brian. And actually, I do hear that frequently, and I believe that probably factored into me getting cast in Unseen. Not that they were looking for someone to do like a direct impression, just give that sort of vibe. But I just saw, I don't know if you folks have seen this, that Miramax, I believe, just bought rights to, they're going to make more Halloween movies. So I'm going to start making Dr. Loomis self-tapes.
Oh, you should. I want to see you as Dr. Loomis.
I could be Dr. Loomis. Yeah, and I'm flattered when people say that. So I would be so lucky.
Yeah, you guys both have something on screen that you share in common. You guys are both badasses.
There you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I want to personally thank you, Bill, for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
I know that you have a very tight, busy schedule, so
my people are outside the door right now. Bill, come on.
So. Recording, take one. Come on, get out here. But yeah, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us. And we had so much fun. I can't believe an hour has already gone by.
Right, I know.
It kind of like, whoa, we were just barely getting acquainted and comfortable and talking about all this. And now we gotta go.
Maybe we could do this again sometime.
Yeah, yeah. I would
Absolutely.
definitely want to come and sit down here again and redo this when Unseen comes out and kind of like talk about that in greater detail. And I'm sure a lot of our fans would love that. Chris Shern says Bill
Hey,
is the best.
yeah, and I got a Chris is one of the creative forces behind Evil Lurks. And I know we mentioned Evil Lurks a little bit earlier.
Yes.
And I just worked with Chris again on he's got a film called Vic Effects um, about a woman who's a special effects artist, Foley artist. And I play the director, like the sort of like a Wes Craven, John Carpenter kind of character who tells her that my longtime Foley artist has died and I want her to finish this film. So we just literally Sunday we shot my scenes for that. So that's Chris's film. So
Ooh.
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Chris. Hey, can we
The
connect?
young woman Amanda Winston who was in Evil Lurks is the other actress in the scene that I'm doing is the lead in the film. So
Ooh, that sounds like
Chris
so much
is a
fun.
great guy, and I'm really happy and honored to get a chance to work with him. So yeah.
Nice. Well, Chris, if you ever want to come on the show, I know you're out there listening. If we
Pretty
reach out,
Yeah.
come on down. We'd love to talk about your work also. It was so fun to see your movie, and we're
And he's a
very excited.
musician as well, so ask about his music too.
Ooh.
He's a Renaissance man.
No.
Careful, Luna. Luna's like, oh God.
Right?
Ooh.
He's married. Sorry, but
Yeah, but it's still fun to talk to musicians.
Oh yeah.
Musicians are so fun.
No, and Chris is a great guy. Chris is a really great.
Nice. All right, Bill. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Chris, for the subscribe. We'd love that for ourselves. That someone of your magnitude is so kind to give us a little bit of love. So, all right. Well, everybody, it was so great to have you guys in the house. All of our sneaky ninjas that were quietly watching. I see you. And thank you for being here.
Ninjas. That should be like, we should have a band called that. The Sneaky Ninjas.
I just started. Oh, I do like the pink hair. Thank you. I like pink. If you haven't noticed, my mic is pink, and I like to do the whole Japanese vibe.
And I like the ears. I have to say, I wasn't sure if I should mention it or not. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I think they're
very
cool.
Cute. Very cute.
I think
I like
cool.
that style.
Yeah, I try to bring a little bit of a kawaii Japanese and vibe, I guess.
Cool.
We all got to have a little bit of flair to us.
Absolutely.
Well, tell them what they can look forward to next week, Luna.
Yes. Luna.
Oh, next week. I'm so excited. My favorite movie of the year, Quantum Devil. We're going to sit down and have a talk with our friend, Larry Wade Carroll. He is going to come down just for us after being in Spain for, I don't know, for the Stygius Film Festival. And we're so excited to have him on next week. It's going to be a blast. You guys do not want to miss that. I believe that is going to be on Tuesday. If I don't,
that one's Monday,
the
23rd, 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. And then the following day on Tuesday, we're going to talk about a current Indiegogo with Ashton Livingston. He is working on a movie called The Rat Problem. It's like a very cool 80s, like it kind of gave me like Friday the 13th vibes. And it's going to be like all these murderous mutant rats attacking people with like 80s. Everybody's dressed all 80s. So it's
nice.
Rat Problem seems like it's going to be a fun project to talk about. And but yeah, Quantum Devil on Monday and Rat Problem on Tuesday. You guys want to be here for that.
Delay things any more than they already are. I think it's funny you mentioned the rat movie. Did you ever see Willard and Ben? The rat movies from
Yes.
the 70s.
I love those. And I love Willard with Crispin Glover. Oh my God.
Oh, right.
It's my dream to meet Crispin Glover. Like
he's like on his own world. How can you not love that guy?
Yeah. So
it's exciting to see another rat themed movie coming out.
yeah, especially because the rat problem is gonna have that 80s slasher vibe with killer mutant rats. Like, come on, like
Killer mutant rats. I love it.
I know. I'm excited to talk about that, and I'm excited to help promote that because I think it's going to be a fun one, and people are going to love it.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah,
I'll definitely tune into that.
yeah, the rat problem on Tuesday, and yeah, Quantum Devil. It's out now, guys. It came out October 10th. You guys can definitely find it on the website. I believe it is the Crazed House website. If you go on there, you'll be able to purchase it or rent it, whatever is going on. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it was my favorite movie of 2023. So I'm very excited to sit down with the director and our very good friend, actually. So we're very happy to have him on for that.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate all your love and support. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye, Sneaky Ninjas. See you next time.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
My pleasure. Thank you.